You know, if we consider every fact, obviously there are so many details that it's impossible to know it all. However, there are three things that are mind blowing enough. The first is that our whole reality is like right inside here. Science today, I don't know if you know this, but a recent discovery. What is the size? If you took all the matter of the universe, all of it, the actual size of the entire universe. So I'll start off with an example that would be easier for us to understand. And that is if you took all the information on the internet, all of it, right? It's just information, it's data. You put it into physical weight, it would weigh one paper clip. So think about a paper clip. That's what that is the actual amount. Let me see if I have a paper clip here. Okay, let's just continue. The size of the entire universe is a single electron. It's something that's so small, only the greatest of the greatest of the greatest microscopes might be able to see it. That's the physical size, meaning everything that exists, it actually can be condensed because really what exists is space. The physical matter, as you know, the electrons create kind of energy fields, and therefore they create like these balls. But it's like a basically how big is a beach ball? Well, actually, if you scrunched it up, it could be pretty small. If you took all the space of the universe, you couldn't even see the matter that exists. So that means our whole universe is like a computer game. In fact, this has been proven. It is being generated. You and I am right now, just like in the screen. It's just being generated. It's just data in front of you. It's not really me here because I've already spoken in the past. All you're seeing is data. So the whole thing is like data. It's like the matrix just coming into existence from a source all the time. But relative to the source, everything, it's like nothing. The whole thing is like nothing. To give a perfect example, the Alter Rebbe gives an example. For example, if I'm thinking something, where does the thought come from? So if I'm thinking, I have to have a desire. All thoughts come from basically love or fear. So I want something or I don't want something. So I'm thinking about that. Now, the desire comes from a belief, which is why do I want it? Because it will be good for me. Or why don't I want it? Because it might hurt me, whatever. So now think about the thought. One thought relative to your feeling, the thought relative to the feeling is nothing because it comes from the feeling. And then the feeling relative to the idea is nothing because the feeling is only based on the idea. For example, if I said to you, this is a dead phone, do you want it? You say no. If I say this is the best phone ever, do you want it? Yes. So the point is the idea created the desire. So relative to the desire, the idea is infinitely more powerful. And so you can go level to level, and each level, the thing under it, it's like it doesn't even exist. And so relative to God, there are billions and trillions of levels of levels of levels of levels just from us. Our universe is like a dot compared to universe, dot, 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 dot. And relative to God, that itself is like a dot. So that's number one. All of everything that we'll ever see relative to the computer that's generating us, it's nothing. Number two, there has to be a good reason why it generated us. And the reason is love. Why does a parent is obviously certainly before the child is born, infinitely greater than the child, but it's love that the parent has for the child. So that's reason number two. Everything that exists is because God loves you. That's the only reason it exists. And the third thing is that we are all, and this is very, very important, peace in the world can only come from this idea. We are all part of the symphony. In other words, we have different roles. Listen, what's the chances that I would be a rabbi? Think about it. What's the chance that I would be a rabbi? Actually, very good. My father was a rabbi. His father was a rabbi. I'm a Jew. That's already a much better chance. I'm the tribe of Levi. They've been rabbis for 3,300 years. What's the chances that I'd be a rabbi? 100% chance. Now, did I choose it? I chose it. Nobody forced me. But the chances, the circumstances are 100%. Science tells us that the chance that anybody exists is 1 in 300 trillion. So that's actually the exact opposite. It's not just a chance, 1 in 300 trillion. If you have such a chance and billions of people exist, that means each person was chosen to exist. A tree also, it's all the same. It's like 1 in 300 trillion. Because what's the chance that a little bit of DNA could turn into a tree, an elephant, whatever? Even the sun. I mean, the factors that are there to make life possible are miraculous upon miraculous upon miraculous. And the reason I say this is because it's just like if I generated a computer game. What's the chances that that thing existed? Well, actually, 100%. Because I am the creator of the game and I made it happen. So now we have to understand that everything is part of the game. And so, yes, God loves us, so he gives us free choice. But at the same time, I have a role. The world needs rabbis. It needs people that study, that have the minds that are kind of philosophical, etc., and that are interested in this, like teaching it. The world also needs businessmen. You wouldn't have any services without businessmen. The world needs mothers. You need doctors. You need nurses. You need the government. You need many, many, many different things for this world to exist. And each and every one of us, instead of trying to say, oh, that's not good, figure out what is your role. What is the role that God has for you? Do your role. Help others do their role. That is a positive, the only real solution, both for inner peace, because inner peace comes from inner purpose, and help others realize their inner purpose. And I promise you, we will have the most amazing world, because technologically and human rights were way beyond anything we've ever seen. Just to give you an example, in 1980, it's not so long ago. In 1980, over 50% of the world lived below the poverty line. Since then, 95% of the world got out of that. It's amazing. We're living in the best times in human history. And those that are trying to say it's all bad, that's because they have nothing good to offer. But God has come to us, and he's given us a great Rebbe, Mashiach, somebody that can lead us and guide us. And he's saying we each have a great role, a great purpose. You are a creation of an infinite God at this moment because he loves you. And because he loves you, he gives you something meaningful. Figure out. And if you really want to know your role, it's very, very easy. Ask yourself this question. And I want you to promise me that you'll say the answer to yourself 15 times. So you've got to integrate it into your head. What is the greatest contribution I can make? And when you come up with that answer, I want you to say it to yourself 15 times. And if each one of us said it, because when you say it 15 times, you bring it into your desire, because not enough to know something, you have to want to. And ideally say it every morning 15 times as soon as you wake up. You're making your thing for the day. What is the greatest contribution I can make? And when you do that, you know your purpose. Focus on that beyond everything else. And if we all did that, imagine we all did that, the greatest contribution I can make, the world will grow exponentially better and better. I love you. Please do it. Write a comment about how it's changed your life. Make a video. Share this message. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.